All right, you're watching GTV, and my name is Kafui Day. I'm seated with legendary photographer James Barnor. Uncle James, it's really, really good to be with you.
Yes.
I understand that you only celebrate your birthday every 5 years. And just recently you turned 95. How does it feel to be 95?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And it has been an opportunity where I take the chance to express what really is in me. Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed all the blessings and the prayers and the good wishes that people have expressed. Mm-hmm. And I feel, first, I feel on top of the world.
For real?
Number one, yes. But now I'll say, if I say anything mm-hmm. to the photographers, they will take it serious.
Because you're 95?
Yes. Otherwise, mm-hmm. you know, when they get to 95, they will regret.
Well, why is it that you keep like a 5-year gap between your birthday celebrations? Why don't you celebrate every year?
You know, I started from 80. Mm-hmm. It was just before 80, mm-hmm. because it was my 80th birthday that I think I did something big, mm-hmm. because I got our local council, mm-hmm. Hounslow Council, yes. to give me a free hall.
In the UK?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I'd done that before, where I invited the High Commissioner, mm-hmm. Honorable C.U. Osei, to come, and he was surprised. But 80th was the one that was more exposed. I had 2 British MPs, mm-hmm. man and wife, to open the exhibition.
Okay.
I used my exhibition, my birthday, as an opportunity or excuse to show my work.
Indeed.
And I would like to do it every year, mm-hmm. and so have done. But from I think the 80 and then the 85 mm-hmm. was another big one.
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah, and then the 90. It happens, but I always do something little. But the size of the exhibition and how big it's going to be mm-hmm. makes it, you know, we have to do it in 5
years.
Gaps, yes.
We love it. Mm. I mean, you're a man of many firsts. I mean, first photojournalist with the graphic.
The graphic, yes.
You were the first person who brought color photo processing to Ghana in
yes.
the early 70s.
Yes.
And you have photographed the great and the little, and you've charted a path for other photographers behind you. Did you ever think you would get to this time in your life where you look back at a very long career?
No, I never did. I never did. I think in human nature, that's how life is. But when you are struggling or you're, you know, climbing, you never know where you can reach. If you have the ambition, you always pinpoint the end in your mind, that you go there. But otherwise, you are from beginning and you're just in life, you take chances as they come.
What's the biggest chance you have taken?
Oh, I think so many.
Okay.
So many.
Give me some of them.
Right. I always start from my beginning. Mm-hmm. You know, to be a school teacher, it was automatic, and I loved it before I got the chance to do it. A school teacher straight from elementary school, mm-hmm. so you are untrained.
Yeah.
So you get two pounds, 1 and 8 pence a month.
What could that buy?
Times 12 for a year mm-hmm. is 25 pounds a year. You know, a teacher.
Was it good money? Was it good money at that time?
I was living with my parents, so it didn't affect me.
Okay.
But I loved the work I was doing. Mm-hmm. To be a teacher, you know, you should have something. That's why the school actually asked me to come and do it. So I was teaching. I had my own class, mm-hmm. but I also took charge of weaving or art and craft.
Okay.
Because I excelled when I was in elementary school, what I got out of it was this weaving. And so I was teaching them how to weave, both cloth and baskets. And I loved it. You know, even I was in the school band, because those days, every school had a school band. You know, Bishop's Boys, Government Boys, Accra School, they all had band.
What was your role in the band?
Oh, I was a flautist.
Okay.
Yes.
You still play flute? When was the last time you played the flute?
I wish I did. You know, I wish I did. But, you know.
So it was fun.
Yes, it was fun.
Music, art.
The responsibility was something, because you are in charge of your school. When we go to Empire Day on the 24th, we also took, you know, the march past.
The parade.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
We took, and I remember one year, I went to the parade twice.
Why?
I went with my school because I wasn't out of the school before I started teaching. So I went with my school.
Yes.
And then went with with my little school as well.
2 times.
Somebody remarked, "Oh, you've been here already."
And what did you say? I like it.
No, I was marching, so I didn't mind it. You know,
good times.
That shows how much I love teaching.
Yes.
You know, you say big jump.
Yeah.
Somebody with a small mind, small heart, loves teaching, and then he had to change from, leave the teaching and go into photography, apprenticeship. And the period was interesting. You know, when you're teaching, the children have got to respect you. So you wear something on your feet. That time, you know, when we were going to school, we didn't have anything to wear.
Okay.
And you get used to that. But when you're teaching, you know, you start to wear canvas shoes or sandals or something.
What did you wear?
I had a pair of canvas and a pair of sandals.
And the shoes gave you respect?
Yes, because you know, when you are in class, you know, the children should look at you. You shouldn't be walking
barefoot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that change was something. And as I said, from there, now you go to apprentice. You are being commanded. You are being told what to do. You are going to learn again. While you were commanding or teaching the children, now you go under apprentice. It wasn't easy.
Was your teacher a good man? Kind?
He was my own cousin.
Okay. Was he still kind, though? Was he harsh?
With the olden masters, apprentice is apprentice.
Meaning?
Boy and servant.
Meaning? Were you naughty? Were you a naughty apprentice?
I haven't got time for naughtiness. That I must confess. You know, but there again, you know, do this, do that, you know, do that. One thing that I was told that brings about what you said. You know, on the day that there was the shooting at the crossroad.
1948?
Yes.
February?
I was an apprentice.
Okay.
And I was in the dark room working or doing something. But I came out to throw some rubbish away or water or chemical into the gutter.
Yes.
And my master or my cousin was sitting outside. And the people who were looting or, you know, going up and down and shouting were in the street, down street.
You saw them?
I was looking at them, and he looked at me, and he saw that I would wish to join them. And he said, "Go back, you know, go back." You know, I felt that master servant apprenticeship
feeling.
Normally, as my cousin, normally he wouldn't do that to me. There was no need. But this time, you know, you are studying. Don't think
you can go and join them.
No.
You went back in.
But I wasn't even thinking. You can be in the dark room and hear what what's going on in the street.
What was it like working in the dark room?
Oh, that's lovely. That's a different thing. That's different thing.
Because people who are Gen
Now
Zs,
doing
they don't know about dark room. So explain a dark room to somebody who doesn't know what a dark room is. Why should a photographer go into a dark room?
That was the standard of photography at the moment. At that moment, where you have a sensitive film, roll film, that takes either, depending on the camera, takes either 12 pictures on one roll, or 10 pictures, or 36 on one roll. You know, and before you see the film, you know, you take this and go into the dark room and use chemicals, you know, to develop. We say develop, and then you come and watch and look at them to see which ones are good and which ones are not good. Or you start counting your profits from the pictures you've taken, definitely. Because if you've taken a wedding and you've doubly exposed some, if your camera is not automatic or you forget to roll the shot before the next one and did another shot on it, you do double exposure. You take 2 pictures on one. And when you develop, you cannot separate them. But today, when you shoot a picture, you look at the back of the camera, and you see what it is, it's all, and then you delete it straight away.
Straight away. Yeah. It was completely different back then.
And film was expensive, but you have to calculate your money before you go to an assignment. How many rolls do I take to the place, and so how many shots I take? It was a different type of life compared to you know, today's photography.
So you had to be careful, otherwise you will not make money. I read somewhere that you prefer to shoot people because people pay you money. Landscapes and trees will not pay you any money.
That is true. That is true. And when I got a mentor in photography, you know, I got another mentor in photography in Britain. That was what he added. In an adage, he said, people are more important than places. People are more important than places. Meaning, when you come to Ghana, you're a visitor, you're a stranger, you come to Ghana, everything is exciting. The weather is fine, there are buildings. You are excited by so many things, but the people who actually take you around, the people you talk to, the people you ask questions, you remember them more
than the sites.
Yes.
So people
they mean more to you. You don't forget them.
Let's stay there a little while. Who are the people who are important to you now at 95?
That I cannot say. I cannot say at the moment because there are so many people around me.
A few.
That is difficult. My mind is now on my work. My mind now has been drawn and focused on my archives.
Which means your work is more important than people, Mr. Barnor.
The people work with me, so it means I will only take the people who work with me on my work as the best people in my mind, in my life now. But it may not be true. I may have a child, I may have a friend, I may have somebody.
I get you.
So that question is difficult because at the moment, even I was asking the address of my manager to give to you.
Yes.
You see, and that I didn't say the address of my nobody. You see, coming here at 95.
Yes.
95 years. My doctor even suggested, advised that somebody should take me. And even a lot of tests should be made and instructions should be written on how I am, so that if anything happens, you know. But the main thing too, I had to have somebody with me.
Exactly so.
He's here now, but he's not the best, you know, the only person in my mind.
So there are a lot of people who are important to you.
And I've got some grandchildren who are near me now. All my grandchildren are here, and there are 2 of them who are helping me now. But I can't say the other. Most people in my
Yes.
At the moment.
Yes, indeed.
I've got all my archives, and that is the problem or assignment that I have. Anytime I'm free, I go into the computer to see which pictures I haven't captioned, because there's quite a few that there are no names of it, no years, no subjects. And I try as much as possible to go through and remember what, try to write down what I remember about them.
It must be a blessing to have a good memory. Would you say your memory is quite good?
I thank God for that.
How far back can you remember? I mean, what's your earliest memory?
My earliest memory would be at Anyinam, when I used to be with my grandfather in the village called Mwosu. But my grandfather did a good job, so he even brought a couple of Accra people there. So they have a place called Accra Village, Anyinam Accra Village, yes.
Okay. And how old do you think you were there? What that memory?
Oh, I think before I came to school, before I started school, because I was there, I think that my father said, he's nearing school-going age, so he should be brought to Accra.
So this is like early 30s. Maybe you were about 4 or 5.
Oh, early 30s, yes. I was about 4, because when I came to Accra, I was 5. 1 year before I could officially go to school. And I remember the school I was registered at, or the school I went to, is near the Timber Market site.
Really?
Yes. Where there is a garden, or, we call it Kolena. And it was called Accra United School.
Really?
Some people will remember, some people, and it was owned by one Nunu, Mr. Nunu. I remember, and I can picture his face.
What did he see? What did he look like?
He was old then, to me, he was old. Yeah, but the teacher who nursed me for that 1 year, I took a picture of her when I returned in 1970 to start the color.
Okay, from the UK.
I took a picture of her in church.
Your teacher?
Yes, the one who taught me when I was 5.
In the 30s?
Yes, and I knew Mrs. Nettie.
Did she remember you?
Oh, yes.
She did?
Yes.
Okay. Were you a good student?
I didn't know what I was then, because, first time in school, first time meeting a lot of people from other houses or other homes. But it was about 10 minutes walk from my house.
Okay, so it makes things easy.
It was just 10 minutes walk from my house.
Okay.
So it was easy. And I remember when my father was taking me to the first school that I went to, Accra Ra School, when I was 6.
Early 30s, wow.
Yeah, I remember when I was registered. And I also remember the historical event. That was when King George V attained 25 years on the throne.
Queen Elizabeth's father?
Yes.
You remember that?
No, not her father, her grandfather.
Her grandfather, sorry.
Yes, her grandfather.
You remember that?
Yes. Why should I remember? All school-going school children had souvenirs of chocolate and cups, mugs, with the king and the queen's picture on it. Chocolates in a tin. Each person who went to school in Ghana had one.
Wow.
Yes, I remember. And even 2 years after his death, the queen's father, I think, was crowned 1937, and we had something similar.
Yeah.
And I remember that 2 years later, 1935, we had a big earthquake in Accra.
And you remember that?
I was
What was it like? I mean, I've never lived through an earthquake in Accra before. I mean, what was that like?
For children, it's exciting. And you're running around and you hear my grandmother saying, nobody should go in. Nobody should go in the house. All of us come, everybody. I could hear her shouting.
Yes.
And it came to my mind that she must have witnessed something like that before.
Correct.
But, this is something that we don't know. The whole earth was shaking and things were falling down. My father had traveled then, but he came later, the same day. But it didn't happen as severe hinterland as it did
before.
on the years. And, it changed the living standard or living conditions of people in Accra.
In what
it
way?
made a big change.
In what way?
And with accommodation where you live, if you haven't got a solid house, and it broke, you have to sleep outside or live outside. And that's where the local government or government quickly came in and made temporary huts with palm trees, leaves, all over open spaces, like Accra Ra School, the whole park where the police station is now, right up to where CFAO.
Yes.
Yes, all those places were made into a living place with so many huts. And people lived in with their
families and everybody.
Families, yes.
Wow, you've experienced a heck of a lot. I mean,
and that was what introduced estate houses. Now they started. They got land to build Mamprobi Estate, Kanishi, and so on and so forth. That was what followed in the same year by the Second World War.
1939.
So I have been through something.
A lot. It's not just something, Mr. Barnor. It's a lot.
And I remember Ghana or Gold Coast City living through the war. It's the same as England, except that we weren't bombed.
No, we weren't.
But the things we had at the time were all mostly imported.
Like
rice,
what?
everything.
Everything.
Was, yes, except cassava and bananas.
That one is homegrown.
Yes. And ships had to bring them. And the ships were bombed on the way. So when the ship was coming, it had to come in a convoy with,
escorts.
Yes.
To guard them. Yeah.
So we didn't have them as often, but we needed to eat, and we needed to, be economic, even with electric light. You can't leave light on. There was something to, even on the street. Ask me what I remember. On the street, even headlamps were painted. Half of the headlight was painted so that it will only look down, not glaring, for aeroplanes to see that this is a town and bomb
they'll bomb it. Wow.
And there were, the period and the life and the changes in Accra during the war is something that should be documented or played again for people to know that we've had trenches built in, dug in open places where we say fire brigade. When there was anything like that, everybody will go there and hide. We had home guards and we are ARP, people fight, who will distinguish fires. So many, yes.
So it's just like what was happening in Europe, and you lived through all of that.
The same, and all adverts like Churchill's emblem or his face and all his slogans were reproduced in Ghana, as it was in. So I went through all that as a boy.
Yes.
And I went through it, finished 7, and then did a little bit of pupil teaching,
yeah.
yes, 2 years, and then 2 years apprenticeship before taking up photography, or before I actually got the chance. I couldn't even hire a place to go and live. My aunt was going to the farm, and and I said, "Can I look after your room for you?" Yes, go on.
So that was your place?
Yes.
How did you get your job at Graphic?
I think it was destined for me, but I knew about it because I was talking to another cousin of mine who was my mentor and photographer. In fact, he was called Akins, Julius Akins. Somebody just mentioned, and then I met him in the street. I said, "Are you Mr. Akins?" And he said, "Yes, what's the matter?" I said, "Cool down."
Cool down, cool down. Cool down.
And I told him how I knew about him, and so, all right, this is my house in Accra. He was working for the information services at Accra.
Yes.
And I was from school coming, or from my apprenticeship. We met, we were both walking home. And so he showed me his house in Koloko, Wakum, somewhere. The next day I was there. So to make the link, early morning, I'll go to him. He would have started work already in the dark room, in his own room. Would work, and you just watch him. Yeah. You don't do it for you. Just observe. Watch him. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then if anything, you watch the photographs. Then we depart. He goes to work, and then I go to my apprenticeship.
That's it.
But we did that for some time, and that was where the idea of comparing my work to others in books, and mostly imported books, and even the use of modern equipment, even darkroom equipment were modern, because perhaps he copied what they were using at the information services as compared to the old equipment that my big cousin had.
Was using, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That my cousin was JPD Dodo. Well known in Accra. I think the famous or best portraitist. Coming to your question, when Graphic decided to establish, and Cecil King came to England, to Ghana, he brought with him a renowned photographer, a war veteran, to look for a photographer. And he must have gone to my cousin.
Dodo.
Yes. And he said, "Oh, I don't do that type of photography, but I have somebody." So he let his son join his car, and they came to me. That's why I say perhaps it was handed to me. But I had talked to Akins already about something like that. He said, "Oh, don't worry. They will open a modern press here, and you will get it." So when they came and asked me, I wasn't surprised. But the surprise was, why me? And I wasn't ready to show any work like I'm going to an interview. It all came as a surprise. So I had a box of photographs, small box of photographs. I showed it to the photographer. I've forgotten his name now. Even I later ordered his big book, and but he's dead. I showed, he went through, and I remember quite what he said. "Oh, all right, but not quite. We will train you."
Okay.
Not quite,
but
we will train you. Report at the Graphic the next day.
Boom. You got your job. How long were you at Graphic for?
That we don't talk of.
Oh, why not?
Very short.
Okay. And
all my life, I would say, very short. Because I had my studio, unfortunately, I don't know if I got any money there, but the satisfaction there made me a self-man.
Okay.
So if anybody talked to me the way I didn't like,
You could just leave.
I tell him off
That's
straight
all.
away. And once or twice I had led the graphic. I think I was a member of staff for twice. One a long time when I left and did my own work, and then I went again. And I'll drop in something. There was a famous photographer for graphic called Samuel Bedu. I don't know if anybody knows him. Samuel Bedu. He hasn't been on the scene for a lot, so I don't know. I trained him in the darkroom for the first time. I trained him as a photographer. He was brought, when he was employed, as a messenger in the editorial staff, running errands, and somebody said, why don't you let Samuel Bedu go and help Mr. Barnor in the darkroom? So he was brought to me, and we started. I'm very proud of him because he was very good, because he must have been about my age, but he looked small, but he must be about but he respected me, and we did a lot together.
Are there, for you, what constitutes a good photograph?
I think I'll say if the picture attracts you after the photograph has been, anything that attracts you after the photograph has been made, see what do you consider to be a photograph? That is what when.
let me just. So this is we're going to look at these pictures. So this is a picture of former President General Achampong.
Yes.
And Ambassador Young from the US.
Yes.
So for you, why is this a good photo? This one.
Achampong, I don't know who to say was important to me. You have to think that, but everybody too is important. I photographed this picture before.
Okay, this one.
So yes,
Okay.
so going to Achampong, I could put him out of focus and still people will recognize him. But Achampong was the man in the castle in charge of the whole of Ghana, and we were visiting him. So he has got to be sharp.
Okay.
You see.
So you bled the American man,
yes.
And then you brought General Achampong into focus.
And to prove what I'm saying, when I developed the film in the darkroom, the editorial advisor looked at it and he said, this is the picture.
That one?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the picture. He wasn't actually looking at me.
No,
but
he wasn't.
Yes.
It's a profile.
Yeah. And I felt very proud.
It's a great photo.
Yes.
I haven't seen this photo before, and I really like it. You showed him in his prime.
Yes. And it was, he said, this is the cover. The editorial, without having made a story, he said, this is the picture. Because Andrew Young made a one-day visit to Ghana, and his touchdown till takeoff, I covered
everything.
Yes, and this was at the Black Star.
Yes.
The top where the big people. There was a press conference
Yes,
there.
yes.
We had a press conference, and I brought him out to take a portrait of him using the ground. These are all flagpoles.
Yes, I can see. Yes, at the Independence Square. Yes.
And I was taking it, and when somebody rushed and said, the students are demonstrating in town, I don't know whether he had a hint of it or not. But his reaction was, they have the right to
demonstrate.
Yes, they have and they left the scene straight. They left covering and went to post that news. So we were actually in Ghana when that news came on air.
Okay, all right. So great.
And it had an effect on General Tampon's disposal because of that.
Exactly.
Yes.
It probably explains his
And the news, whatever what the demonstration went over all the world, and it triggered to his being
moved.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good timing with the students. They took advantage of a situation.
And I feel very happy when I see these
Photos.
pictures.
You photographed other presidents and heads of state before, haven't you? And very important people.
But when I was at the American embassy, I felt it felt as if you are in a foreign land. You know, you are in America.
Really?
Yes. You know, everything is there. Either the camera you wanted, you could get, or the chemicals or facilities. In fact, nothing goes short.
Everything was there for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
did it make you more creative when you had everything?
In a way, because
I can show you another one.
yeah,
This is another one here from the Amania. Okay. So who is this?
that's my son. You know, my last son.
All right.
This was in London.
Happy.
Yes.
Yes.
He's a big. This morning he said he read some of the news on social media.
Okay. All right.
But this is Joe Williams.
Okay.
He came in a group of musicians with Clark Terry as the leader, but he was the vocalist. And they played with Joe Konimo.
Yes, indeed. The
And
Canadian
local, yes,
musicians.
local,
musicians.
musicians, yes. Why? I said, I changed the design from the other one to this.
Why?
I wanted a television screen. I wanted a television.
All right.
Yes, but the format, but I wanted a television screen. And because there were musicians, there were actors, and I wanted to show them on
the screen.
Yes,
Yeah.
but we had these printed from America,
Yes.
always. So we had loads of them. But I also wanted to change it. So something happened. And in fact, I thought myself, got a graphic designer to do me the black, and then we changed it.
Well done.
And they stopped ordering.
And then they went with this one. So you made things happen. And then you've ended up living in the UK, as you said earlier. But is it strange to you that it's like the world just woke up to Mr. James Barnor when you were in your 80s? I mean, is that not odd? For you, does it surprise you? You've been doing all this work since the time you were in your 20s and 30s, and they find out about you in the 80s.
I think I was building up. Only I didn't have my own property to keep my things very safe, all of them, so I carried them wherever I went, something like that. So I lost a lot. But then the few I had, or those I had at the moment, some people thought, I remember an art group in acting. They wanted to do an exhibition. And one of them had seen my work somewhere, and so they approached me and talked to me, would you like to join us? So I gave them an album to select
Photos,
and then I'll see how we can print them. I didn't hear from them. The time I heard, they were ready to open. So it was the opening night, and they invited me. And I saw, I think, one half of the place was full of my pictures.
All blown up?
Yes.
Wow. How did that make you feel?
Then I felt that I had got some treasure. People think, oh, you've got a picture of Nkrumah, you've got a picture, and so on. You've recorded the independence of Ghana, and so. But when I saw the selected pictures up, because I was thinking that I'll find a printer to do them, but they did it by some means, and they did the whole work. I said, what? And luckily, when they finished, they gave the prints to me. And that was when I first thought of having an exhibition.
Yes.
When they gave them to me, a few months or so, then so I said, no, I'll have an exhibition with this, and I don't have to do anything. And where they printed them was cheaper than if I were to get a photographic print or go into the darkroom. So I added some more and filled a whole hall.
With your photos?
Yes. And invited the Ghana High Commissioner. You know, first somebody said, tell the High Commissioner. I said, no, let me do my own thing. He said, oh, this man is interested in elderly people. So
you brought him in?
Yes, I got him in. And when he saw the things, you know, he wrote about the exhibition, and it was published in The Voice in London. And that made James Barnor go into Google for the first time.
So you're in Google, yes. Definitely you're in Google now. But that's the beginning of you entering Google.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was, I had those pictures then. So that was the beginning of having something that you can exhibit.
Exactly. And from then you've had so many exhibitions around the world.
So my 80th, I did
that.
My own.
That was 2009.
But again, when Ghana was 50,
yes,
they commissioned a
2007.
Ghanaian, yes, to do an exhibition with my work as in commemoration with the birthday.
Right.
But they were small prints, not as big.
Big ones.
But and that's where the idea of publishing a book came, but it didn't materialize. But that was, you know, the second time that the exhibition business started.
Yes.
And it's nice to, I enjoy it when, after so many times, I only showed my pictures to my friends and tell them what they are, if I can remember. But this time, when they are out, many people will come. Everybody will want to know what they are. And I get some satisfaction talking about my pictures.
What's the most surprising reaction people have had to some of your photos?
Many. I was surprised when I saw this in the south of France.
James Barnor stories.
You know, at the gate to the exhibition, because I'd forgotten about it, and it was there. And all the memories, the shop where I took this, the mirror, and what I went there to do, all
everything came back.
Yes.
That's the power of photos.
And it did surprise me. It did surprise me, and I loved it.
This is you?
Yes.
So who takes the photographer? Who was this? Who took this shot? Can you remember?
The attendant, store attendant, was watching the one taking the picture.
Exactly. And you were focusing on?
She was watching me photographing myself from the mirror. That's what it was. Now, there was a column in the shop, and the column was covered with mirrors.
Okay.
There's a line, the mirror here. Some people are going. So all these are from my back.
Behind you.
Yes. You know, this is a part of it on the corner. So, in fact, it merged, but it saw it from here to somewhere there is the mirror.
Yes.
And I was photographing myself from the mirror. I took two pictures, one like that, and one actually with my eyes close to the lens, the magnifying glass on the top of the lens.
So this is a photo of James Barnor by James Barnor.
That's it. That's it. You know, not selfie. And there was no selfies in those days.
This was a selfie, man, of a whole different level.
Yes.
Mirror selfie, mirror viewers, mirror selfie, or whatever. But
I
this
think
is really
it was
great.
in the shop opposite Ice Company, near the post office, a shop there. I think it was a drugstore or something, a drugstore. That time I was photographing a series for Drum.
Yeah, the magazine.
Of Roy Ankara. When he had just returned for after winning the Commonwealth featherweight.
Exactly.
Yes. He came on holiday and I was doing it. And Drum asked me to do it. So I was taking him around shopping.
Okay.
I don't know why he didn't come in this, but it's only one of the pictures that I stood aside and took.
I love it.
But I took him to shops. I took him outside. You know, that's him.
Yeah.
You know,
Roy.
doing,
Roy
you know, outside.
So who is the one flying? Who is flying?
That's Roy Ankara.
Roy Ankara, the boxer?
Yes.
Nice.
No.
Him again. You took all these.
These were postcards.
Yes. And who is this?
This is
Ali?
yes,
Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
What was he like? Do you get to talk to your subjects before you take photos of them, or you just keep quiet?
I do, but I didn't say a word to him. I do talk. I have to get my subjects to, but he was busy doing his practice,
Yes.
and you know his mind was. But he was such a man that he could have done anything for me. He was nice.
He was,
you know, cooperative, and he would have done. But I didn't need to.
No.
You know, he was doing his thing, and you just use something like a cine camera and copy him.
So he was working and you were working?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. And there's somebody there nicely
Who's
dressed.
the
Was
the young chick?
A model I was going to photograph for Drum.
Yes.
But when that assignment came, she was given a mic to be something like a reporter with me.
Okay.
So I went with her, you know, to talk to her. And so I put her in the picture as well.
Okay.
Eventually, I didn't take a picture for Drum. Somebody else did. But she was a Drum model.
Okay. Is that you?
Yes.
Nice.
Ready to come and open the color laboratory. Ready, you know, 69.
Yes.
After 10 years in Britain, I was coming.
To open it.
And this was Accra laboratory in Antwerp. Oh, Mortsel.
Okay.
Mortsel in
Belgium.
Yes.
Okay. I like your fashion sense, man. You were really snazzy.
A pair of jeans.
Yeah, but the tie and shirt was working, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Where did you get the sense of fashion from? Your father, mother?
I don't know. You know, but working with the models and working with girls who dress properly, you have to copy.
Definitely so. Yeah.
But this one especially, I was preparing to come to Ghana.
Yes.
So I was almost getting ready.
To come down. Yes.
And it was because I wanted to offer something to Ghana. I was proud of the appointment, but I wanted to offer. That's why I came.
Indeed.
But the time that 1969, the time that I took that appointment and came, was the time of my fame and prosperity in England. After 9-10 years.
Exactly.
Because I got a color processing business. I mean, not business, but I was working for the leading color processing laboratory in Britain called CPL, color processing. They were the leading. And working there, you don't need to work anywhere.
No.
And I also had Drum at my foot. I'm called, you know, I'm back and called. I was doing the color covers for Drum magazine. That, you know, it's continuous. And I also had my camera for Ghanaian parties like weddings.
Yeah, weddings. I saw a lot of them inside. Weddings and parties.
And homegoing. People have finished their courses and they have a party to go back.
Graduation.
I had all that. So I didn't need to return to Ghana.
Are you happy you came back?
I was glad I achieved that aim, but eventually I didn't get to the end because afterwards I had to fight or find or pray to get a chance to go back. You know,
It's a full adventure.
because the economy went down and things, photography went down and all the rest of it,
And then digital photos
but
also
I
came.
lived, when I came in 1970, I lived, I managed to keep my head up till 94, when I got some chance to get out of the country.
And you went back.
Because it's there that I have got this recognition.
Yes, indeed.
But not necessarily in Ghana. Not necessarily in Ghana. It's all in Britain. So when you ask me whether I was sorry I came or not, I have mixed feelings.
Mixed feelings. Yes, it's not black and white. It's mixed feelings. What you got from Ghana, I want you to explain this to me, because you gave a lot to Ghana, and Ghana also gave you this. Tell my people what this is, what it means to you.
I'm sure that the Order of the Volta is the highest honor that any Ghanaian can get, or anybody can get from Ghana. I don't know if there are others, but I got this a few years ago because the ambassador for France at the time, Mrs. Swanika, happened to be present when some of my work had been acquired by a museum. And I was sent from London to come and explain what the pictures were.
Right.
And she was invited as well. And when she saw the things and heard my explanation, I think she made her mind that a person like that should be honored by Ghana.
One time.
Yes. This can be outside, and Ghanaians didn't know about it.
Indeed.
And so I felt very proud. And they made every effort to make the president know. Even I've met the president before. But
which of the presidents?
John
Dramani Mahama.
He came to UNESCO to give a talk. He had a whole day talking, and I went there and even presented him with my first book. There's no copy here. So we met then.
Right.
So I think he saw me. So when the ambassador also pressed that I should be, he agreed. And so that I had been recognized as a step towards Ghana, and I feel proud of it. I feel very proud that, when you think of such honors, you think of big people, those who are selected to be, the people that are advised in the running of the government or in managing things.
But you're a big person in chronicling Ghana's history
through
photos.
No, but
you're big.
I hide in London in an old people's room, and I like it.
Yeah, but the light, you can't put out a light that is shining brightly for people to see.
This 95th birthday could have been an ordinary birthday.
Yeah.
Could have been celebrated privately or with exhibitions in London or Paris. That's where I had my 90th. My 90th, I had it in 3 places, 3 countries.
You were chilling.
But this one, it's gone beyond that with a message, because so many things are coming into it, and it's stretching, not just a birthday. It has a message. It's got a connection with Tamale, and if you were in Tamale, the reception I had and the preparation they made.
Because you're connecting with Ibrahim Mahama, the artist.
At the moment,
yes.
He's like my grandson.
For real.
But in birth or something. But at the moment, I have confessed that I would like to hang on to his coat so that when he's flying, I will be seen to.
Flying away with him.
Yes, because what he is Ghanaians haven't seen it.
What do you like about Ibrahim Mahama's art?
He's an artist who thinks outside the box. You know, all artists have been crazy in some way to draw things and to create things, but his way is different, and he hasn't got to the pitch yet. I'm thinking of some 5 years, 10 years, people will be coming to Ghana just to go to Tamale to see his work.
His work excites you?
You haven't seen it yet. You know, with my age,
yes,
and my experience in my work, I can see him maybe more. He's still dreaming. He's still in his, but I can see beyond him what he will be. So Ghanaians don't cooperate very much.
They don't. What's the reason? Where's that coming from?
Jealousy is one, you know.
Big time.
And like the photographers, everybody keeps his pictures to his chest. You know, when you see you steal my style, you get my customers.
Is it possible to steal somebody's style, though? Is it? I mean, 95 years on Earth. Is it possible? Can somebody steal your style?
No, that's what they did.
That's what
From the beginning of my work, there was a time when I subcontracted my work to another photographer. Yes. When I took so many pictures, I wouldn't be able to retouch all of them and be able to produce them for the customers in the week or the days that I promised. So I contracted them to a friend who will do the retouching and charge me, and then I'll charge the customers, or do the rest and charge. No photographer did that. No photographer. You don't even befriend the photographer, much more to invite him to your house.
People are afraid.
And yet, I do part of my work and give it to somebody, do it for me, and gosh, you know, in England like that, even when you start taking photographs and you are not a photographer, you know, you don't have a dark room, when you finish, you give it to a roadside man or another photographer to print for you. That's the only way that
you can establish.
That you get somebody.
Exactly.
But when you are established, photographers don't have the need to subcontract.
No.
They have to do it themselves. Even I worked with somebody who was older than me. He was ahead of me in school. And he finished photography apprenticeship, same as me, from another person, and started work before I started. But I headed him at the graphic and employed him from graphic to come and work with me in my studio. You know, that was the mentality I had that helped me to build my studio. I wasn't, you know, it's a Barnor. I had an ambition, but I was cooperative. You know, I talked to everybody, you know, you come. And this man sometimes came to my dark room, and he was a smoker, and he would swell all my desk with cigarette ends. Yeah.
Oh.
Cigarette ends. You know, this.
Smoking in your dark room?
Yes, but what do you do? He was my friend. He was a Nigerian. You know, and he was able to deal with me closer than any other Ghanaian photographers. And I'm trying my best to let Ghanaian photographers cooperate.
Good.
And exhibit their work to themselves and get criticized.
Yeah.
You know, every month they can collect 20, 30 pictures each, meet somewhere, show them, and even invite artists, other people, to come and tell them what they think about the pictures.
Iron sharpeneth iron, so they can grow together, become big.
That's it. If you have 20 pictures and it's criticized, it's vetted, and you get 10 out of it, you know, you value those 10 than all the rest.
Indeed.
Even though they are all good.
Yes.
You know, when you are mixing them, shoveling them, or showing them, those 10 that were selected, things said about that you didn't know before, makes you value those 10 than the rest. At the end of the year, those selected can be put together in a big exhibition in Accra for a public exhibition.
Yeah, and it promotes all the artists in the end.
It should be by, you know, all the photographers,
Yeah.
or even 2, 3, 4 of them.
Exactly. You have a prize in your name, the James Barnor Prize. Who qualifies to get that prize?
You're talking about James Barnor and this thing, foundation prize. Oh, that's something that at the moment is offered to photographers. And even it started from here, but nobody from Ghana, I think 1 or 2 people only applied, you know. So at the moment it's going to South Africa.
For real?
Yes, this will be the 3rd year. You know, this will be the 3rd year. But it's passing
Over Ghana and going elsewhere.
Yes, it's gone from West Africa, then East Africa, or some Central Africa and South Africa. In my heart is for education. But since I'm a photographer, the photographers have got to take the lead.
Indeed.
But maybe the trustees will see my point and do it to help anybody who needs education.
Indeed.
Because I prefer education. Even photographers need education.
Everybody needs education. And talking of you being a photographer, Mr. Barnor, when was the last time you took a photo?
Just the week before, or the same week that I left, there's a canal. The river Brent flows, you know.
In the UK?
Yes, outside my house. And boats, you know, boats in which people live and travel, go up and down. And they go under the main bridge, before, and when the tide rises, the boats cannot go under the bridge.
Of course.
Yes.
Water is too high. Yeah.
And I was hearing noise. And I looked, I found the tide was high, and there was a convoy, and a lot of the sun is coming out through everybody. They formed a sort of party outside. So I took my iPad.
Okay. So
Yes.
You've gone from what was your first camera? I want to know.
My first camera was 44A, Kodak. No, not 44. Brownie, baby Brownie, small camera that is baby Brownie.
Okay.
And it took 127 film.
Okay.
That was, and then it progressed to Kodak 620, you know, slowly.
And now you're on iPad.
And my phone and the iPad.
So you took a picture on the iPad. I'd love to see
There
it.
were, anyway, there were, I even zoomed in and I saw banners. Some of the boats had banners.
Can you remember what they wrote on it?
We'll look for the, yes, they were. Photo. Yes, they were, you know, saying something. So they'd all written it. But I even waited till the tide went down and they were trying to go out, and I photographed that. But now I can't balance very much, and I don't have time to take photographs, and I want to rest, so I left it. But I could do a documentary on that alone.
Indeed.
Because when I first went there 20 years earlier, if that happened, I went in to have the picnic with them.
Straight up.
Because from our garden, you can talk to any, yes. Yeah. And they all spread out like that, and the colors, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, of course, you said people are more important than places, as you
I
always say.
You know, so I go to the people and talk to them.
Is there any person that you wished you had taken a photograph of, but you never did?
Honestly, I haven't thought. Well, during the independence, the visitors who came, a lot of them, but I miss, like Joe Louis.
The boxer?
No, Joe Louis.
Joe Louis.
The singer.
Okay.
The trumpeter.
Armstrong, Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, Louis Armstrong. Yeah, Satchmo.
Joe Louis, I didn't say, but Satchmo.
Satchmo.
Yes. And two or so of the freedom fighters. They came and did a lot, but I never met them or photographed them. Louis Armstrong, they had a concert. I don't know. I didn't meet them at the airport because there were so many things going on at the same time. But later, I met one or two of his musicians. They came to play at the Seaview,
Seaview Hotel,
which was next to me.
Yes.
Even one of them wanted or decided he would come back. You see, but I didn't see Louis Armstrong, But honestly, there's nobody that I wish I had photographed that I didn't get, because there are so many people, so many things happening. That reminds me, one person that I photographed who was, if we'll say nobody, when you talk about the world people, and I photographed our famous Mike Eghan.
Ah, yes.
I photographed him in
the broadcaster.
London. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know him. Yes,
I saw a picture of him looking into a lion's mouth.
That's it. That's it.
You found him in London?
Yes.
Yes.
It was Drum.
Yes.
Who asked me to. I didn't know him, but I went to the BBC where he worked, and I asked of him, and they showed me, and I introduced myself and took one or two pictures. I said, "Oh no, you are too. The studio is too small for you.
Yeah.
So let's go outside."
That's Mike Eghan.
Yes.
Is that Trafalgar Square?
Yes, that's
and then him
no,
looking.
Trafalgar Square.
Yeah, looking into a lion's mouth. Yes, Mike Eghan.
Yes.
And there's him again, jumping up on the stairs.
When I was taking this, a policeman tapped me on my shoulder and said, "No, let him come down. We don't do this sort of thing here." I laughed.
You didn't listen to the policeman?
I'd got what I want. I'd got about three pictures, all good.
Before he came and tapped on your shoulder?
Yes.
So you just laughed?
And we jumped onto a bus to this Piccadilly Circus. And that picture is in, Tate Gallery.
Yeah, this one?
Yes.
Ooh,
this picture.
so vibrant.
Is at Tate Gallery. And there's a copy at number 10 Downing Street now.
Wow.
In fact, we are waiting to go and look at the picture in number 10 Downing Street. And I'm inviting him to come with me, 1967 to now. Both of us are alive, and we'll see the picture of him. And this summer, a play about me photographing him at this one will be at the Edinburgh show.
Wow.
This summer.
This summer.
August.
When was the last time you saw Mr. Mike Eghan?
The last time I was here, when he published his book.
His book, yes, The Empress. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
So I'm sure that he will have the health, perhaps, when we invite him to come.
Yes, indeed.
Because if this picture alone, or the chance to go and take this picture, because the whole background is changed.
It's wonderful. Yeah, to recreate it, kind of.
If that picture alone will give us the permission to go to Downing Street, then
it's a good job. It's a good job. Mr. Barnor, it's been such a real pleasure talking to you. Does that mean that, God willing, if you are 96, you will not do any celebration, you will wait to 100?
I wouldn't oppose God in any way, but 100 will be a punishment. if I stay longer, I don't know. I think
You're done.
I've done something. I won't say enough because enough
There's
is
still work. There's still work to be done.
Yes.
But just before I end, does it make you sad? I mean, when I was reflecting with one of my friends, and he was wondering, I mean, when you're 95, most of your friends are not around. I mean, the people you went to school with, people you grew up with.
Your parents even have gone. You know.
How does that make you feel? I mean, at 95, when you think about all your friends and you realize that they're resting somewhere quiet, you know, and you don't, all you have are memories. What's that like?
Then you start to think that you too will go. You know, when you think of that, first you're working, you know, you don't realize they are going, this man is not there, you manage to live and so on. But when you sit and contemplate, you say, oh, this one is gone. I used to do this with this and it's gone. That is gone. Then you think that, you know, you're also getting ready. I had a friend, you know, yeah, he's still alive. He's 100 now when I'm 90.
95.
We talked to him on phone, and I was watching us, you know, in the Zoom or whatever, you know, and I asked myself, so is that what I'm going to be when I'm 100?
What did he look like?
He was being talked, you know, shown some pictures of me,
Yes.
or, you know, and he said, oh, he didn't quite, you know, but he recognized some of the pictures. And then all of a sudden, I heard him say, oh, mena achole niafla, achola afla, photographer. And they say, he is the one, he is the James Barnor. Oh, and where did he get all this
White beard from?
So he didn't get me at all, you know. So 5 years, if I get up to 5 years, will I be like that when I I don't recognize my friends? And just recently, only I couldn't get him because he's gone to his children in America. But I was inviting him to come to this festival. You see,
I love your sense of humor, Mr. Barnor.
and I had a famous model, the one at the back.
This one?
Yes. I photographed, even I worked with her in the darkroom. She was a nurse, but she would come to my studio and do all sorts for the day, and then go back and night nurse. So during the night, she would call me, and I'll be working, and we'll be talking. We're very good friends. She's now 90, and when she came to my birthday, she was, her hand was held. You know.
Yeah.
It's surprising. I'm stronger than she is.
Yeah, and you're 5 years older.
Yes. So I don't think of when I was 80. I said I had two MPs, a man and his, well, they both MPs, and they came to open the exhibition. He said, James, you are now 80. You know, how do you feel? By that time, I was on my feet, and I said, no, you know, I feel like 21.
One time.
Because there is so much more to be done.
Okay.
You know, because that time, even no book had been published.
Yeah.
It was, I think, 5 or 6 years time before and since then, this is my 5th book, The Red, and this is the 5th book.
And you're more productive now than when you were younger.
And there is still
Work to be done.
Yes.
Great stuff.
You know, if I can have some contact with Ghanaian photographers,
Yes.
we can work. From there, you know, we can still share ideas.
Yes, indeed.
You know, so, and as you asked me what picture, if I saw anything happening outside, sometimes you see little boys on skates, you know, on the river. I photograph them moving and so on. So
there's work to be done.
When I put my pills on the table and see the shadow, the sun make them cast long shadows, I take my my iPad. As for film, I don't know when when I took any film and take pictures, because as a photographer or as an artist, when over the years, you develop, and your eyes know light. You study light. Anytime light causes black and white, you know, this must be recorded. How much tone is recorded, the white, and even the little shades before the curves, the folds go in and out. How can you use the light to record it? How much? And in photography, or when we started before, we took the picture. If you overdevelop it, you lose what is there. If you underdevelop it, you can't even print. And we did a lot, and this place is hot. So you take a picture, go into the darkroom, develop it, and it's always overdeveloped. So my aim was to teach people how to use the exposure meter, because we didn't use exposure meter we couldn't even buy them. You know, use an exposure meter and do time and temperature development. You know, we just develop in a dish, but you should know the temperature of the solution that you are using, so that you time it, so that you get all the details. What you saw, you can get it in the negative, so that when you are printing, I absorbed technique.
Yes, indeed.
Apart from, as for the art, I went to an art college in Britain. Perhaps, you know, I had a little bit of influence there, but the technique should be good. And once you know that technique, how to develop it, and lighting, the effect of lighting, you know that photography, art, and everything is from the light above, you know, around. When you know it, you can't stop taking photographs.
You are
You can't stop.
evidence of that.
And when when I was in school, I like to say that, you know, my last year, 1945, at Bishop School, I was made the editor of our school magazine. When secondary schools didn't have a magazine.
Yes. You were editor.
Mr. Champong, he created that, you know, and I was made the editor with some people to write, but they didn't, so I had to do everything. And when I did, I wrote for the week. The senior prefect, I sat with him, he had the best handwriting you can think of. And he will copy all in a double foolscap paper page. We will open, you know, official paper, and it will go to the teacher, he will look through, it will go to Master Yanka, JTN Yanka. He was the headmaster for Bishop School. He will go through and sign, and then it's posted on the notice board for everybody to read, the teachers, the students, and even visitors read them. So a sort of responsibility, and I mean, it makes you think. And when you do this, you think of the next week, what you're going to write.
So you're busy. See? So you're always focused.
Yes. And at one time, it also gave me the sense of some power. When students are around, when they are doing something and I come, I seem to be a prefect. Yes. Everybody, if you are doing something that is not good, you hide it or you stop.
Otherwise, you will feature in the magazine, right?
Yeah, I shouldn't see. You see, and I had a column. Even though I wasn't anything in my class except, you know, James Barnor. I had a column like asking some funny questions or difficult questions. Adanko was the emblem, or Adanko wishes to know this. Adanko wishes to know this. Questions that are difficult to answer. And one time I asked, Adanko wishes to know what the monies collected from the vendors in the school were used for. The money is that, people, women came and sold food.
And you wanted to know where the money was going?
Yes. And this went on. The headmaster saw it. He said, go and ask Teacher Ade. Go and ask Teacher Ade. And Teacher Ade was the oldest teacher in the school. He was as old as the schoolmaster himself. And everybody feared him. I also feared, and I went. But when I mentioned what I want, not that he was shaking, but for Teacher Ade to open all his books to me, I didn't even know what I was looking at. I was shaking. I was to show me everything.
He showed the books to you?
Yes. So I say, journalism.
There's power.
This is, yes.
Yes.
And so, from getting out of this, and then going into graphic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I think you've done the most powerful form of journalism, because with photojournalism, those images tell stories that are there forever, especially these black and white photos. They are there for such a long time. Listen, Mr. Barnor, it's been a real pleasure. Happy 95th birthday.
All right.
Wishing you God's blessings.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
thank you. Thank you.
This has been such a wonderful trip down memory lane.
Yes.
And I'm so glad for the opportunity. I feel blessed to have spoken to you on this.
Thank you.
What's your biggest wish as we end this interview? What do you want people to know or to remember?
What would you give me? Long life and less pains in my hips and joints. But I wish Ghana will come back to Nkrumah's days.
One time.
I have a shirt especially for Nkrumah, but the days before independence, when we young people were not particularly interested in politics. Went about our studies, we went about our work, we went about how we look after our families and so on.
You love those days.
Until some people came and started agitating for independence and so on and so forth. Nobody knows. Later we'll know the minds, the individual minds that they had before they fought for the independence and what they hoped to achieve. I don't know. But somebody comes and say, this is what Ghana should be. These are the steps that Ghana should be. And started getting the young people interested in politics. And it even brought the first education, free fee education to Ghana, starting from the north. And when you sit down and said, if this had gone on, if his plans, if his ideas, if his development plans, 5-year development plan, 7-year, if we had followed it, where would Ghana be today?
That's a question that only God can answer. But
It shouldn't be ourselves, if you did that, if you do a second Tama motorway, if you did, build second silos, if you build more factories, Ghana would have been filled with, things that people will come and join us. But not when you go to England, even all students, people who finish education now in Ghana, they want to go overseas and be treated in any way possible, as long as they are not in Ghana. That's pathetic. You see,
so things must change.
Yeah, and one goes back and comes again and walks in the type of filth. So you think that there's another African country that is so clean that people are copying them. And Ghana cannot even keep the tidiness that when we had PWD, and there were Tanganse people going to houses to inspect, that decency, that responsibility of keeping tidy is lost. And you go to Accra, proper Accra now, selling or sheds and
Kiosks.
kiosks
Everywhere.
are everywhere. When you want a pavement to walk on,
You can't walk.
you can't. You have to go over a drain, gutter, and then walk in the street and share the street with the police, with the traffic. I mean, people want to come back to Ghana. You know, when you're proud, you're a Ghanaian, you know, and you come back to Ghana. It's so pathetic. This is true. I've got the chance to say it, I'll say it. I wish I wish I was going and coming every few months or every year, you know, to work and to help when if needed. But if you are coming to this and seeing little things that we only have to get the discipline that we don't have to have rubber bags, things, or like when you drink water, the plastic should have a container where you put it in. Somebody will come and take it away, and it's not littered about. That is something. Otherwise, I'm a Ghanaian, and I'm very proud of Ghana.
And we're very proud of you, Mr. James Barnor. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for this opportunity.
All right, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Nice to meet you again.
It's so wonderful to meet you again. Let's meet again some other time.
All right.
Thank you. You're watching GTV Breakfast with legendary photographer James Barnor.